Hey y'all, my name is Christian. I'm a millennial, and this is the Millennial Mind. Millennials get a bad rap for being lazy, non productive members of society. We also get told that our opinions are warped and don't matter. This podcast is designed to express a point of view on the world as a whole, but from a millennial's perspective. I will talk about love, current events, pretty much everything that comes to mind. Come join me on this journey on speaking my mind, and I would love for you to speak your mind as well. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of The Millennial Mind. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of speaking my mind, and I hope that you all are speaking your mind as well. This podcast is going to be a little bit short because of the holidays, but I thought that it would be a good time to talk about what I'm thankful for, considering that Thanksgiving is this week. So, this podcast episode is entitled 5 Things That I Am Grateful For. So, let's get started. The first thing that I'm grateful for is Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus, for me, has been a pivotal asset to my life. I grew up knowing about God. As you probably listened to the previous episode, I grew up real churchy. Not only did I grow up churchy, but I grew up as a PK kid or a pastor's kid. So I had a lot of Jesus growing up. But it took me becoming an adult and going through some things that really helped me to realize that God, Jesus, is my source. I can't do anything without him. I can't do my job without him. I can't walk without him. I can't see without him. I can't breathe without him. Everything that I do is because of him. Everything that I am is because of him. Everything that I do is because of him. And I'm just so thankful that, he thought of me, little old me, that he would die on the cross for my sins so that I could have a chance at life and life more abundantly. I'm getting a little bit churchy here. But yes, I'm so thankful for God and what he has done in my life. He has given me wisdom. He has given me peace. He has just made my life just completely new. And if you don't know about God, please email me, comment on the Facebook page, and then we can talk about it further. But that is the number one thing that I'm grateful for is Jesus. The second thing that I'm grateful for is my husband. My husband, and what I'll do is I'll do another podcast episode with him on it. I'm just trying to figure out the right day. But I'll do that so you all can get to know him better. But my husband has been my rock. He is patient with me, sometimes overly patient when I'm freaking out, and sometimes freaking out on him. He's patient enough to know that, okay, this little freak out session will pass. He loves me for me, not just what's on the outside. A lot of men and women, they look at their partners as far as what they can do for them as far as looks is concerned. and not saying that I don't think I'm pretty. I think I'm pretty. But my husband didn't look at that. He just didn't focus on that, I should say. He saw what was on the inside, my heart, my soul, and he loved that first, which is rare for a lot of people to find in their partners. He loved me for me and still does. He's funny. He has a good sense of humor. We're always cracking up in the house, acting like big old kids. I know whenever we have children, our kids are gonna be like, somebody please shoot me in the face. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with my parents? Um, but I found someone that I can have fun with, someone I enjoy being around. Like, I love being around my husband. Um, he's just a lot of fun, and it's because I like him. I not only love him, but I like him. There's some spouses and some um, relationships where they love the person, but they don't like them. So, like when all the little fuzzy love goes away, they don't really have nothing to talk about because they don't like each other. Me and my husband, we legitly like each other. Like, we have a great conversation. We enjoy being around each other. He's my best friend. So, husband, if you're listening to this, I love you. Thank you for being the man that you are. I'm so grateful for you and grateful that God allowed you to be in my life and He chose you to be my husband. So, there we go. The third thing that I am grateful for is my family. And I'll be a little bit more specific. My parents and my brother. My parents, when I was younger, I didn't understand the way that they raised me. They were very conservative, very strict. I couldn't really go anywhere. I was always around them. They restricted people that I hung around, and I say they kept me in the bubble as far as keeping me in church, and I didn't really know too much about the outside world. I had to learn on my own. But now that I'm older and grown and at the age where I could have children, but I decided not to, but I'm at the age where I could, I understand their point of view. I understand that they wanted to protect their children from a cold-hearted world, and they wanted me to think positively, and to always have God in my heart. My parents, they sacrificed a lot, something that I could get into for another episode, but they sacrificed a lot for me and my brother. From sending us to private schools to selling their house and moving to another neighborhood in order to give us better opportunities educational wise. They really did a lot, and they're still doing a lot for their kids. It seems like it never ends. And my parents are at the age now where they're getting older, and you can see that they can't do what they used to do. Even though my dad, he's active. My dad he's gonna be 64 next month, and he goes to the gym, jogs 3+ miles, works out. My mom is starting to work out more, but even still, you see that they're getting older, and they're not the same as they were like when they were in their 30s. And it makes you appreciate your parents a little bit more, because You only get one set of parents, and you don't know when that time is up where the Lord is ready to take them. And it makes me want to cry, when I think about that. But it's true. My parents, they're only here for a set amount of time. And I'm just trying to love on them and learn as much as I can from them for the time that they're here. So that's my parents. My brother, on the other hand, my brother, he is a couple years younger than me. Actually, he's about 17 to 18 months younger than me. Um, he, we I would say that my mom, I'll start here. My mom and my dad always taught us to be close. They stated that, we're the only siblings that we have. We don't get no more. We got to protect each other. And that's something that we took to heart. Me and my brother, we have a very good relationship. We don't talk as much as we should, because my brother, he's right now in the military, so sometimes it's hard to speak on a regular basis. But my brother, he there's a lot of things that I've learned from him. One thing that I have learned to him that I admire is his will to do what he wants to do. He doesn't let anyone stop him. If my brother wants to be a clown and he feels like this is a terrible example, but it's so true. If my brother wants to be a clown and everyone is telling him, no, you don't get paid enough, you look stupid, life on the road is going to be hectic, he's like, okay, I didn't really ask for, your opinion, whether you think that I should do it or not. I'm just letting you know that I'm going to do it regardless. His tenacity to, his drive to do what he feels is best for his life is real strong. He's real strong in that area. And that's something that I admire, because sometimes for me, I rely on opinions of others in order to make my decisions. Not all the time. I've gotten better at it. But sometimes I do rely on other people's opinion. And that has caused me not to do something that I would want to do. I'm doing something that somebody else wants me to do. My brother, on the other hand, he does what he wants to do, so he has no regrets in life. He also has a big heart. I believe my brother will lay down his last bit of money for his family. He loves his family. He would do anything for his family. And that's something that I admire as well. So before I get to the last two things that I'm grateful for, we're going to take a short little break so we can hear a word about our sponsor, and we'll be right back. This podcast is sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. It gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere, even on platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Once again, you can download the Anchor app, that's ANCHOR, or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey y'all, welcome back. Like the ad said, make sure to check out Anchor if you are trying to develop your own podcast. It will save your life. Okay, getting back to the 5 things that I'm thankful for. Just to recap, number 1 was God. Number 2 was my husband. Number 3 was my family, more specifically my parents and my brother. And now we're going to dive into the last 2. So number 4 is near and dear to my heart. I'm not sure how I would even get through life without this thing, and that is Chipotle. Yes, like the Mexican grill, I am thankful for Chipotle. Chipotle, I first tried, I believe, in 2012, and I forget who had introduced me to them. I think it was my cousin. I want to say it was one of my cousins that was like, Christian, you really need to try this. So I tried it, and my life has never been the same. Like, there's so many choices. Like, you can have brown rice or white rice. You can have pinto beans or black beans. You can have all these different kinds of meat. You can have salsa, guacamole, sour cream, cheese. It's just wonderful. It's a burrito in a bowl. Or you can actually have the burrito if you want to, but it's too messy. Do the bowl. It is wonderful. Like, what was my life before Chipotle? I don't even know. I can't even remember because I had no life before Chipotle. I had no life before Chipotle. Like, and after that time, I found out about Chipotle. I was in school, so I had Chipotle just about every day. It was bad. And even during that time, remember that time where they had like the E. coli contamination? I didn't care. I risked my life, risked my entire existence on Chipotle. Ain't that sad? That is so sad. It's such an addiction. Such an addiction. How about I probably will have Chipotle before the end of this week? I probably will beg my husband to take me to Chipotle. It's so bad. It is so bad. So y'all pray for me for this Chipotle addiction. If there's like a Chipotle Anonymous, I need to go to these meetings because it's really bad. And anytime you risk your life for Chipotle, it's pretty bad. Oh gosh. So yes, that's number 4. And the last thing that I'm thankful for, which it has been very instrumental in how I view life and how I live my life, is the ability to travel. Growing up, my parents made sure to expose me to different cultures, different places, different ways of life, so I could be well rounded and not think that the way that I was living life was the best way or the only way to live. There are plenty of other ways to live life, plenty of cultures that I need to learn, and my parents wanted to make sure that I had that experience. So we traveled. We traveled at least one time a year. My dad was a stickler for that. My dad, he would say, like, we are taking at least one vacation a year. And that's something that I carried on into my adulthood. Traveling, it gives me memories, it gives me experience that no one can take away from me. Like, they may be able to take away my car, my money, my home, but they can't take away the memories that I formed from traveling. Um, just for example, more recently, I went to Jamaica with my husband, and going to a completely different country outside of the United States was an experience in itself. But experiencing the Jamaican culture, experiencing their food, how they live, how they make a living, how they drive, because Jamaicans drive crazy, okay? No offense to the Jamaicans, but they drive pretty fast, okay? Just everything that was completely different than my normal. It just exposed me to a different way of life, something that I greatly appreciate. If I could do like a travel podcast or like a travel blog, I would, because I love traveling that much. You just learn so much, and you experience um, things outside of your comfort zone. It's just an amazing experience, and you know, I certainly advise anyone to travel at least one time a year. And you know, you don't have to go far. You can go within your state, like maybe to another city, or even go within your area, like if you live in the Midwest or on the West Coast or the East Coast. There's so many places that you can go that are not too far and not too expensive, where you're still having an experience that's outside of your normal. So that's just my little tidbit, but I just love traveling that much. And it's not just being in a different place. It's the actual process of traveling, like going through the airport, going through security. I know it's like super bad. If we're taking the car, packing the car to prepare for the road trip, just the act of traveling, it just makes me so excited, because I know that the end goal is I'm going to be in a different place that is not where I'm at right now. So, just to recap, the five things that I'm thankful for is God, my husband, my family, Chipotle, and the ability to travel. What are you thankful for? I would love to hear your thoughts. Make sure to send your comments on our Facebook page, The Millennial Mind. Also, you can email me at mindofmillennials@gmail.com. Make sure you email me your thoughts and any topic ideas that you would like for me to discuss. I would love to hear them. Also, um, in the month of December, I will be doing a giveaway each week. Um, so I believe the next podcast that I will do will be in December. So make sure you watch out for that. I'll put information on our Facebook page, and then make sure you listen to the podcast during that month, and you'll get more information about that giveaway. So, also want to let you know, as far as listening to the podcast, you can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Pocket Casts. Um, and yeah, that's it. Um, I wanted to, before I let you guys go, I wanted to give you a quote that you could think about during the week. So it it says follows: be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. Thank you again, guys, for listening. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of turkey, or if you don't eat turkey, whatever you eat a lot, for me included. And I'll see you guys next week.